Can you believe it, guys? A great evil has been defeated. Welcome back to Limbus Company, Canto 8. Part 3 is out now. And with it, of course, we got some Battle Pass stuff to check. Red Sheet Sinclair's been nerfed, thankfully. And also, Malphite is shardable, so I got her. Let's look at the Battle Pass first and foremost, of course. There's gonna be a lot of stuff to be claimed. I'm level 147, so pretty solid. Tears of the Tarnished Blood. I'm just gonna hit the claim all button. Enter champion cleared. Yeah, it's not spoilers. Let's take a gander. Look at him. Sinclair Evolve Time. What sin affinity is it? Okay, it's Gluttony. This does mean that 3 out of 75% of the Battle Pass equals were Gluttony. It's funny to think about. Zhegang and Zilu announcer, of course. Strategist and right-hand officer. And Zilu didn't have much to say. How wholesome. Another Sinner announcer. And of course... with solemn grace, I accept this punishment. There he is. The big seasonal 150. Yeah, we get some random stuff too. We got 150 of those. We get some ID. Oh, I forgot. I could. Oh well, doesn't matter. Did we get an ego one too? No. We get a bunch of boxes. Of course, 600 of them. We get both the VOVs. We get some profile stuff. The usual, right? Bunch of good stuff. Let's take a look at the funny quotes. First and foremost, try your enemies to accept the flame that heaven's tarnished body is no. Sky East Retribution. Interesting. And then we got customization stuff, of course. Right, you shouldn't look at these beforehand. It's nothing that big, but since this isn't anything particularly noteworthy technically, because we know about it, but yeah, I really have not learned anything from the Quad Town example. Just don't look at those beforehand, right? Okay, let's take a look at those egos, though. Wrong button. First things first, Sinclair. Tears of the Tarnished Blood. Let's get this to max, and let's take a look. Oh. We've got no idea what this one's gonna do. We know it's gonna be rupture-y, but otherwise, nothing was really said about it by Kim Ji-hoon. Oh, there's some unique status effects going on there. Oh yeah, I can pop these. Sure. No reason not to. No real reason to save them. Might as well. It's free resources, right? Alright, let's take a look. See, 6 Gluttony, 2 Pride, 2 Lust. Simple enough. This is another case of... I mean, this is the exact same resources as, like, Lantern needs, right? Also, Ying Long is the name of the abnormality. Interesting. I don't know what that is. I'm sure it's some, like, Chinese mythological dragon thingy. Something about... torment? I don't know. Not my specialty. 8 plus 6, 2 coins. Yeah, simple enough compared to 146. Flower-bearing pin on self, max 3. Interesting. Gain denial. When the unit takes damage, it brings our HP down to 0. This is combat start, yeah. The unit's HP does not drop below 1. Recover from stagger due to damage. The above actor actually dies at turn end. Expires upon death, retreat, or turn end. Okay. So it's not like a one-turn thing. As soon as he uses Ego, he gets a thing that makes so the next time he dies, he lives for a turn longer. Flower-bearing pin, 4 gain equal to Gluttony Res, take times 2 HP damage. 1 stack at turn end or when hit. Offensive level plus 5 stack, the unit attack dies, inflict lightning damage equal to stack and inflict 5 rupture. Expires upon death or retreat. Yeah, the vector says powers on death, retreat, or turn end. I don't know. This is interesting. Yeah. Glad damage equal to stack and inflict 5 rupture. Does not get staggered if this lowers the unit's HP below stagger threshold. Instead, removes stagger threshold higher than the current unit's current HP. Okay, so it doesn't get staggered and straight, it removes the stagger threshold. That is very nice. Inflict rupture count. Reuse this skill. Oh, that's crazy. 30% less HP or 25 bearing pains. Like, reuse this entire skill. So HP and self to do damage claim once per turn. Okay. So the general bit is, first time you pop this, you gain denial, so you have that for this combat. You can use it either for that purpose, or you can use it for the sake that, you can use it, you can get the Flower Burying Pin up, which makes you take more damage. If you're low enough HP, you can pop this. Kind of similar to Deviant, right? Because Deviant has a way of getting his HP a bit lower anyways, just by not retreating when his stack is high. Pop the skill again, you use it again. It's 5 weight, right? So pretty solid. Okay. Very interesting. 20 minus 8 for this one. Let's see, more power for Burying Pin. This is coin power, so this can become a 8 plus 9. Which is solid, 26, right? But that's the max conditionals, and that requires you to be at 18 Flower Burying Pin. Because was it 1 each turn? Yeah, 1 each turn. And you gain 5 on use. And then 1 every other time you get hit. So kind of hard to build it up without using it a bunch, and it's kind of pricey, so I'm not sure about that. Yeah, back to the corrosion. Count 3 rupture. The actual rupture doesn't seem to be very noteworthy. I mean, it's rupture negative, right? It's a gluttony ego, so not really too much funny stuff you can do with that. Yeah, is the passive any rupture? Okay, it's not a really rupture ego at all. I mean, I guess there's the fact that on death with... No, on death with Flower Burying Pin, you inflict lightning damage equal to stack and inflict 5 rupture. Okay, so the rupture is a fairly minor part of this one. It's more so about just straight up damage and preventing him from dying immediately. Unit negative effect or lost HP or SP, heal 5 SP. Okay. Unit or allies defeat and inflict 1 fragile all enemies next turn, once per turn. Okay. That part's not too great. Being able to heal SP is nice, because this can kind of work to help like deal with like the issue of like branch of knowledge, right? This still coin hits the gym side of the previous coin at the same turn, lose 5 SP and gain 1 damage for this coin. So you can kind of pair, you can make it so Branch of Knowledge's downside isn't nearly as bad, which is going to Rupture, because you're going to want Branch of Knowledge for that stupid 15 Rupture potency. Or 12. Close enough. I know it's a big number. I never use it, I usually use, we should actually throw it on though for the bit, right? But yeah. And since that's going to make you lose SP, you should heal SP from Crying Tears. So it kind of can invalidate some of the issues with that, which is nice. And just SP healing in general. Having a negative effect should happen pretty frequently. These are buffs, okay. This counters a debuff, which, I mean, makes sense. It isn't super debuffy in nature. It's just debuff is on the skill uses. Okay. Very cool gimmick. Curious to see how well that's going to work. But now let's take a look at Honglu's, which is, of course, going to be the big one. Crying Tears, he's got a different unique status effect. It's doing like the Merkala thing where they've got a bunch of unique status effect thingies. It makes enough sense. Do I have enough? Oh, I just got barely enough Honglu ones. That's funny. Don't need to use any boxes on this. That's a 20 minus 10. Unclashable. Ignores target's defense skill. The skill does not hit an enemy. It's an interesting bit. I don't know why I didn't make it like a power guard or something like that, right? Because it's going to be, like, it's a wasted turn to use it, right? It doesn't hit any enemies, it ignores target's defense skill, it's unclashable. It feels like it should have been either, like, a power defense, or, I mean, I guess it's going to, or power guard, or the fact that it's going to be buffs means it should be something else entirely, right? I feel like there needs to be, like, a separate type of skill, like, classification that doesn't target anything. It just purely provides, like, some special effects without needing to target anything, right? Feels like something that'd be useful. Also, 5 Gluttony... 1 Gloom, 1 Envy is super cheap. Jeez. Only 7 resources for Evolve. Obviously, you can't, like, clash with it proper, and its main gimmick comes later. Is there a second skill? There is. Tears of Time's Blood, Inception, Tears of Time's Blood, the End. Yeah, okay. So, gain Flower Bearing Wedge, base attack 0, max 3. Leftmost skill, become Unbreakable coins. Okay. Start gain 2 offense level up and 2 defense level down. 3 plus stack gain 1 tarnished blood once per encounter. Huh. Turn and gain 1 stack. Yeah. You mean stack gain means something exciting death retreat. You take damage that brings HP to 0 instead of dropping 1 per stagger defeated. Use Tears Tarnished Blood at the very end of that turn. Okay. So if it's end of the turn, this means stuff that, like, if he gets killed by ampules, it might actually still trigger then. And if he gets killed by, like, Fellbolt Yisong, he doesn't counter whoever kills him. He counters against enemies, like, generically. So you can actually get mileage out of killing him. Shame it's not Pride Week. I was really hoping it'd be Pride Week for the optimal gaming, but it's probably for the best. Yeah. Seems to extend that brings HP down to 1 turn based on unit speed next turn. Okay. Oh, so turn in itself works different. Okay, so being killed by ampule or something means you'll just have to use it next turn. Interesting. And then the actual thing is still 4 plus 5, 7 attack weight, yeah, plus 5 offense level. Does not consume ego resources. Okay. Makes sense since it counts as ego too. They needed to state that just so it didn't actually like move more. Yeah, what does Tarnish Blood do? Take 20% HP damage per stack. Can it be staggered with this effect? Gain 1 stack at turn end, specimen to the retreat. And that was what? You get that at 3 Flower Bearing Wedge. So turn end, you gain 1 stack, assumably. So you start at 0. So turn after you use this 1, 2 turns 2, 3 turns 3, and then after that you're gonna start gaining 1 Tarnished Blood. So like turn 4 after using it, you'll gain 1 of these, you'll take 20%, and then it'll keep on stacking up, stacking up. So he gets put on a little bit of a timer for how long he can live. That'll kill him eventually if nothing else kills him. 3% attack plus 1 and base power plus attack plus 3. This can be a 10 target. Jeez. It's very nice because of the amount of enemies that have like multiple like weight and stuff like that, but okay. Restarts himself and dies, yeah. 3 rupture count. It's rupture count negative, but that might change. What does the passive do? Is the passive like an actual thing? 12 minus 2. Oh, it's an unbreakable negative coins. Ooh. I thought there was decent chances it would happen because some of the enemies had unbreakable negatives coin stuff in the part 2 of the Canto. Minus 2 base for every crack coin, max minus 8. Oh, okay. So it's still bad. You don't actually want to use them. So it becomes a 4 roller if you never mind. That's bad. That's real bad. There's no way to buff that, really? Okay, this just seems like a bunch of 12s then. You don't actually want to use the unbreakable side of things because that's very low damage thing. I guess it's a tie attack weight, but it's also very low sanity cost too on top of everything else. That is nice. Yeah, I don't know about that. Oh, passive. Target's defeated. The unit attack gain 2 haste next turn. Once per turn. All allies including the skill next turn. Get 1 damage to his skill used. Activate this effect. 1 damage to all enemies. Okay. Benefits of killing with unit dies, gluttony damage, and pierce damage to all allies next turn. Once per turn. Attack power down. Okay. So just nice stuff. Alright, very interesting stuff. I wonder how much we'll be able to make use of this. I assume this means there's not going to be punishments for Honglu dying in this Canto then, like it was for the Jiachu fight. I guess we'll have to see, though. Enough ego lookage now. This is the team we're running, by the way. I think I've set it so Faust is going to be slotted 12th, because I don't particularly feel like using her, but I guess if things go wrong, she'll show up. See how that goes. Also, very funny lunacy number, geez. The Surrendered Witnessing, Part 3. Okay. So there's 13 stages left. Very interesting stuff. Okay, the camera's a little bit weird here. There's like a weird box, like invisibility, trying to prevent you from looking over that way. I don't know. The Hierarch of Hongyuan. A lot of stuff that's going to definitely be happening here. I assume the bit is going to be we're going to head up to Elder's Chamber, we're going to fight Jamu or something like that. We'll see, though. The demon. I had to re-up-tie him because his resources are refunded, but... Let flourish from my back the pinions of flight, to chase the parting blossoms, their wilting voyage, a sky-high plight. Ah, where at the edge of heaven does it lie, this flower mound? I bury you today, for you have passed on. But when will I be buried, when I am gone? I bury the petals under people's mocking laughter. But who shall be burying me then, in the thereafter? No one will cry at my burial mound. For, as morning springs die and blossoms wilt, they all float away and turn to silt. Alrighty, boys and gals, grab your cups on my mark. We're celebrating right now. Ahem, may long Zichun reign, the family hierarch. Long may she reign! Once all the guests had taken their seats, the banquet hall became packed, crowded, and chaotic. Except for where we were sitting. Long may she reign. Aojingwan Banquet Hall. Is that, like, the name of, like, the main? Because we know, like, what is it, like... Like, Yi Hongyuan is Honglu's, like, chamber, so is Ao Jing Guan... Because Guan is garden, right? Like, that much is a given. It's different gardens. This one is, assumably, the main one, the hierarchs one or something? I don't know. It's the minor thing. Come on, guys. Really? No one joining on that cheer. We gotta celebrate the occasion. Starve ourselves with gourmet food, play games, get wasted. How else are we gonna recharge for the next mission? Yet, I have... Oh, right. I wonder if Sao's written something to congratulate us. Hey, did anyone send us a letter or something? Hmm? We haven't even received any notes, let alone a letter. Tragic. It's not over yet, eh? Tch, rude. We're the team that came in second, you know? Roja grumbled. I wasn't sure whether it was this poor servant or the oddly silent Sao she was calling rude. How are you? Are you hurt? Any scratches? No. I am unhurt. I was so anxious throughout the evaluation. Just what errant fancy has taken hold of you to risk yourself in such a dangerous ordeal? So, how did you get to the banquet hall? Huh? What do you mean, how did you... what? That was the hero tale then. Forsooth, were I to bestow a title upon this adventure, I'll call it in which Limbus Company claimed the most glorious honor of attaining the ranking of the runner-up in constant fight and wit. Now, worry thee not, for this tale shall consume over much of thy time, to recount a few highlights of this adventure. One might call attention to the merciless march of the walls closing in. Verily, some might even recall the interminable onslaught of rival candidates. Yet these triflings have all failed to smite us down, for we are... You're not giving her confidence here. It seems she's misunderstood my question. My intent was to ask by which means of travel you have come here. Okay, that's what I thought you were asking, but I was like, why? Was it not, like, one of the things I forget the name of? Aha, we took a palanquin, mother. That's the one. I see. Then I suppose you are yet to have visited the revered Zhanren. Shouldn't you pay your visits to them first? Don't you think? They must be so anxiously waiting for you to hear about you. Oh boy, I don't like them hearing about it, because anytime Honglu goes up there to talk to them, it seems to be bad news. Because as far as I can tell, the elders only see through his eyes when he comes back, right? That seems to be it. They, await, Honglu to come by to show them, his tales, to, entertain them with all, the horrors he's witnessed. It is funny how, much it, various things about this, seem to, reflect Canto 4 in a way, right? The whole thing about, the major thing being, inaction, and, how, the funny glass screen showing all the tragedies kind of reflects onto, what Honglu seems to be doing. Although the elders, unlike the Aktiri thing, enjoy what they see instead of weeping at it. Yes, I'll visit them soon. Though I don't believe they're exactly waiting to hear about me. They want to hear about Sichan, don't they? So, you've come back safely. I really worry about what's going to happen to Lin Dayu. Obviously Ziachan as well, but, Lin Dayu now knows of Honglu's plights, right? Similar to how, Ziren, heard about Honglu's plights and then was, lobotomized, you could say. That's definitely what it feels like. I worry about what's going to happen to Lin Dayu. Dayu! You're okay! Yes, I've gotten much better. Healed from that shot you got from jumping in the way of Gubo's bullet. As luck would have it, the injury was not so severe as to require using the life insurance. Oh, that's nice. There's probably other, healing policy type stuff, right? That doesn't necessarily require going full on life insurance. So, what are the circumstances that led to you sitting here? Aha! In the wish to heal the terror which... we were carried by a palanquin. No, this time she's actually asking you to recount the adventures, Dawn. Come again? Don Quixote, I think she's actually asking us how we managed to come in second place. Ah, verily? Yes, that was indeed my question. Please tell me what has transpired during the game, if you wouldn't mind. Then? Yeah. Feel free to get the ball rolling. Then I shall do as thou asked. Ere embarking upon this tale, one must first explore how we were made to convene in the fated chamber along with Jia Chu and Jia Huan, the discourteous cur. Thereafter, the dialogue's complete. Jia Chu, all of a sudden, departed the chamber, taking his entire retinue alongside him. Most puzzling decision, wouldst thou not say? Oi, quit screaming every bloody sentence in my ear! He's feasting out. Thus, at the climactic finale, we were the only ones left in that room, alone with over 100 coins that Jia Chu had left behind, as he and Jia Huan both suddenly elected to forfeit from the game. Well, what now? Yeah, I figured they'd do a flashbacky scene of this sort, because they definitely did jump from, like, this to, like, showing off that Zichun had won. So they're doing this to, like, bridge the gap. Makes sense. At this strange turn of events, we all stood again around aghast and dumbfounded. Even Ishmael was stuttering, just as confused and lost as anyone else was about what just happened. So, claim these coins are going to shoot us to up to the top of the leaderboard, right? But why? Why do you dump all these coins on us? Les, you know this is the 5th time you've asked that exact same question, yeah? Dumbfounded, yeah. I don't have a clue either. Brother Jia Chu really is hard to read. I see that your expression has grown a touch brighter, Honglu. Has it? Perhaps something has been unshackled from within. Let's go. Jia Chu succeeded, right? He just wanted to like make a crack in Honglu's facade, because a crack is enough. Honglu is gonna be able to take it from here. I just didn't think I'd ever say anything like that. Is kindness. To be kind is to care about one another, to embrace those who suffer. It is to cry alongside a grieving friend. It is to join in laughter when they are elated with joy. It needs the warmth of kindness and gentleness. Your words flow like a vast winding river that wishes to bring all of existence into its gentle embrace. I thought I already let it all flow past me a long time ago. Honglu's expression had changed as he sung and served. So the degree of surprise shown towards something new, but it was also the smile of someone whose burden had suddenly been lifted. Never my wildest dreams that imagined he'd find himself enough coins to come in 2nd place, let alone 1st. The doubter. It's fair enough for Gregor to be pessimistic about this sort of thing, since, you know, his Canto is the one where we did, like, undeniably and, like, completely, like, fail to get the bow. Right? Both his and Canto 6 to a lesser degree, because we got Avo in Canto 6, but it was all, like, burnt and stuff. We did fail the Avo in Canto 6, but Gregor's, like, the biggest failure, so he's just expecting, like, when will one of these other ones be a failure? I don't want to be the only one who just completely, I don't know. Don't know if he's actually thinking like that, but it feels like a funny bit. Hey, that reminds me. At that moment, I'm pretty sure we were all thinking of the same person. Wait, there's someone other who's still trying her damnedest to become the family hierarch. And she still hasn't given up. Yeah, oh, I almost got pancaked. We're getting your idea next week. Hooray. Curious to see how that's gonna work. Gonna be rupture boys, obviously, but we'll see the specifics. Are you alright, my lady? What the heck are you guys doing here? Hi, we've been looking for you. What? What? Somebody translate, please. Why is everyone giving me that funny look? Sometime later, you're still doing a jump cut. Yeah, just explaining a bit, I'm sure. You're just giving me all these coins? Totes! We're cool now, right? No hard feelings? Zichun and Wei couldn't be more serious if they tried, despite Rodion's chummy attempts at breaking the ice. What? What the hell is this? This is your way of showing pity? What kind of... Here's what I think happens, Zichun. Brother Chu isn't trying to see me as next hierarch by giving me all these coins. I believe he gave them to me because he's anticipating that I'd put them to good use. So no, this isn't pity. I remember something I did notice is, before Wang Zhao left the party, or not before, I think I think it was after he left the party, but at some point in part 2, he mentioned that he gave his coins to who he thinks deserved them. Or something like that. Now, obviously, he gave us one of the coins, but we don't know what happened to the rest of his coins. But it's very possible he gave them away to Zichun, right? Predicted it somehow. I don't know. Wang Zhao is still very strange to me, and I'm curious what he's gonna do going forwards, right? I just feel like they'd find more use in your hands than mine. Don't you dare presume this will suddenly make us even. You owe me much, much more than this, brother. You owe me time. My lady expressed her nigh unutterable fathomless gratitude. Normally, Sichun would get irritated whenever Wei butted in, but it appeared to have grown calmer. Much calmer. Instead of lashing out with her usual exasperation, she only stared at the tall pile of coins with a quiet but conflicted look. Funny. Now I'm looking at these piles of coins, it feels like I'm looking at all the rooms of Hongyuan. I just hate that sight so much as a kid. But I eventually grew out of that feeling. Stopped minding that scenery. I guess when I decided to leave Hongyuan too. The family hierarch, huh? Can I really be a good hierarch to Hongyuan? I think so, yeah. You got this. Yes, you can. There you go again. For once, think before you speak. Time to get up, Sichun. The family hierarch evaluation will end soon. What are you doing, Heathcliff? What is he doing? What could he be doing? Give him that camera the finger. What are they gonna do, disqualify me? Game's over, you twits. Alas, with the eyes shut, with my mind focused sharply upon that image, the vision cometh to me. Oh, there cometh the roaring applause. There was no audience, no applause, no dramatic stage to celebrate a success, but we still managed to neatly and comfortably secure both first and second place nonetheless. Which means that we managed to successfully complete our objective here at the Family Hierarch War, yeah. I think, assumably that means Jahuan still ended up getting third, I'm pretty sure, right? Since he didn't give up his coins, he just was like, you know, I got enough coins to get decently enough, I'm heading out. All those 100 plus points were all just thanks to how much Jechu had managed to get by just, like, standing there killing everyone else. Or not killing, just... disarming? I don't know. Whatever, killing is fitting enough. Even if they are relatively fine, he was washing them. Yeah, that pretty much sums it up. Gregor, who took the reins of Don Quixote's epic retelling after she left Med Expedition, shared adventurous tales, but the servants finished the story. She got distracted. Fair enough. I see. So does Jachu. I'm still having some trouble understanding the choice he made. Why'd he just give it all away? Perhaps the part of Jachu's past we witnessed. And the life he lived beyond the hedge of Hongyuan, of which we do not know, but relates somehow to the Jade Chillin, right? We don't know to what degree, but it seems vaguely related to whoever that may be. Disciple of Jade Chillin or something? I don't know. Have created a schism of understanding between us. The same kind of separation responsible for my misunderstanding. I initially thought he was just some dangerous guy with a lot of hatred in him, but yeah, he really gave off that, like, aura at first. It's very funny how, like, we see this mysterious guy in Nocturnal Sweep and we're like, oh, he's evil. And he's just standing there. We see him, like, behead someone. We now know that he beheaded someone, but, like, they got better. It was just kind of like a light punishment, all things considered. And that he's a really chill guy. It's so funny. I don't really feel like there's been any other, like, complete, like, 180s on, like, a character's, like, initial reaction they, like, impose, right? In Project Moon. I'm not sure. Not to say there's not been any other cases where, like, your initial opinions on someone aren't, like, going to be the same as your final. Stuff like Dongrang can, like, be examples of that, or other examples, I'm sure. But definitely feels like such a major one. There's definitely something else going on under the surface. Doesn't seem like he's here only to take revenge against Hongyuan either. But I doubt he never considered vengeance. I'm sure he's killed those who took his family away from him again and again in his head. Maybe he still hasn't let go of it completely. It must take a lot of effort to keep all of that simmering resentment under the surface. Yeah? Well, where's that coming from, St. Clair, I wonder? Singer muttered in a placid yet almost imperceptibly trembling voice. Yeah, I've got no clue what's going on in that bloke's mind, but he didn't seem like the type to give up so easily. I agree. We should continue to stay vigilant of his presence. Well, anywho, what really matters is that Seichun's gonna be the next hierarch. And not only that, we came in second in the contest. Mission accomplished, huh? It appeared to me that Rojo was already in a post-mission mode, as though the golden bow was already in our hands. Ahem, so I'm just saying, in case you think we're already out of the woods, we should probably cool with these early celebrations until we actually completed the mission. Nah, no way. They wouldn't boldly lie to our faces like that. Would they? I feel like I just jinxed it. Yep. We've still got 13 more nodes to go through. I guess 12 after this, but still. We were really down to the wire this time, to be fair. I'm not talking about just us. Seichun, too. Ha! That's why they say it ain't over till it's over, lad. Oh, I think it's a prime opportunity for you to head over to those pompous sods from earlier. There's a chance to really take them out of them. I don't think that's necessary. Not every candidate we ran into during the Hierarch War was here. And those who were present were either quietly glaring down at their tables or pulling their hair out and muttering to themselves. Yep. Anyways, Seichun, congrats, you big shot family hierarch, you. How's it feel to achieve your lifelong dream? Oh, what's the first thing you want to do, I immediately clocked you the special when I saw you back in La Mancha Land. We weren't half bad as partners. Huh. It's very funny how it's specifically these two, because it definitely seems like there's a C branch high show in the background of the Ishmael Seichun ID. And these two are the ones who got the Seichun IDs, so it's very possible that's a joke, right? It seems that the C branch was the one that Seichun had at some point, before losing them, assumably tied to the river antics. Potentially Wei being former C branch, well, we don't know. Let may not be excluded from this round of acknowledgements, as he has contributed much in the service of Miss Seichun as well. Your unwavering determination was most inspiring. Does it mean we're getting, like, Yisung Wei ID? It's possible, right? We'll see if they end up doing 2 3-stars next week, but very, like, auspicious or suspicious sinner choice. Yeah, right. Never give up. Always seeing things through to the end. Although Sinclair is speaking now, so I think all of this has fallen under the wayside. Unless... Don't forget about the fact there's, like, some heavy snake imagery going on in Sinclair's stuff with, you know, Damien being, like, the snake, like, telling him to bite the fruit, like, the Forbidden Knowledge, Garden of Eden type stories. Verily, verily, thy sentiment rings most true. Thus shares the tale of young Seichun in Limbus company with the rest of the city shall I, so that I may every so may one day learn of our adventure most stupendously. I shall personally see that every citizen hears of it. Yeah, I don't have something to say with Dawn. I guess I will say that it's showing a bunch of sinners who have had their cantos already, but that doesn't necessarily mean anything, as most of the sinners have their cantos already at this point. Doesn't have to be every soul, you know. Well, I can't help but feel a smidge of pride after all that we've been through together. Okay, now it's every single sinner who's had a canto already. Are we still gonna, like, see the rest? So, well, congrats. Even Ishmael joined in to impart a sheepish congrats. Yeah, that's weird. It was specifically every single sinner who's already had their canto complete who congratulated them. You could say it's something about how they've had their, like, development already, but, like, Rhodia and Craig are still a lot to go through. Some of these others, like Sinclair and Heathcliff, are definitely, like, still building up to other stuff going on. Most of them, really, but still. Interesting. Guys, Seichun's not here. It's in their excitement they all failed to realize that Seichun herself was nowhere to be seen. Seichun's left for the Tikon Temple, Iron Threshold Temple, to have her ascension to the hierarchdom confirmed by the elders. I see, thanks. Also, would you mind telling us stuff like that sooner? Huh. Hold on. I know that bloke. Heathcliff rolled his sleeves before striding full speed towards someone. Huh? Oi, you there! Got anything clever to say to our faces now, smart arse? There he is, Wang Zhou. Yeah, smart guy. Nice to meet you again, and kudos for getting what you came here for. Is that what you wanted to hear? Heh, for all your boasting about knowing who deserves how many coins and whatnot, look at us now. Guess who came first? Yeah, he gave second place 1 coin, and he gave first place 2+ coins. Well, my coins have circulated from hand to hand, landing in the hands of the one who truly deserved them. Oh, which clearly wasn't you guys, given your team's just a runner-up. True. You little! Let me tell you something, my final token of appreciation. Storm clouds are gathering, and it'll be making landfall soon enough. Huh? What's that supposed to mean? Try to enjoy the party while you can. In no time, you'll find out what everyone's been hiding in their hands. Secret third round where it's like, oh, in order to become the hierarch, you also need to survive the entire night without being killed by one of the other hierarchs or something. No, I don't know. Definitely sketchy stuff going on. All the other candidates clearly still want to kill Si-chan, so it might happen. His concerning reply put a pause in our celebrations. We then slowly observed and took in our surroundings. People were talking, negotiating in serious hushed voices. Some were constantly and anxiously running their hands through their hair. We also noticed some servants running to whisper certain messages to their masters, who in turn jumped to their feet before hurriedly leaving the banquet. Looks like we're the only group of people who are even remotely enjoying anything. Sure, it's a banquet, but Si-chan, our hierarch girl, isn't even here. Everyone's acting all shifty and suspicious. This party sucks! I think Coolsville sucks. Roja whined loudly, and she chewed on a shrimp with just as much gusto. I must express my regrets for this state of affairs. Dayu apologizes, though she somehow felt responsible for this. She's used to being a servant, so she's used to just taking the blame for stuff that even if she has no, like, correlation with it whatsoever. Well, I do have some mind tricks of my own that could entertain you. You know any card tricks? What card am I thinking of? That's not how that works. Whatever. I learned a lot of things as a child, blade dance being one of them. Ooh. Oh, for real? Let's see. I think if you do that, like, everyone's gonna be convinced there's a fight breaking out and it's gonna, like, start, like, a dog pile or something. Hey, what the hell? We're here as guests, remember? Don't be a jerk. Hey, bow you. Huh? Who was that? Don't tell me that was Bao Chai. Has she been, like, horribly messed up? Momentary power vacuum. More story, oh boy. I'm not a big fan of whatever's going on there. There was some feminine voice, I couldn't tell exactly who, but it was Bao Chat, yeah. It was too Bao Chat so carefully. I'm really glad you're safe, and congrats on making it as the runner-up. Her demeanor completely shifted, her chipper attitude nowhere to be seen. Now she was more anxious than anything as her eyes darted around nervously. But I hadn't known her for too long, but I knew that this wasn't like her. I know I'm not supposed to tell you this. Mother really pressured me to keep these things a secret, but I couldn't just keep quiet about this, not with you. What's happening? Okay, fixes Bao Chai. What is it? It's, Her eyes glanced down to her restlessly fidgeting feet, then to Daoyu, then back to her feet. It was a while before she could look at Honglu in his eyes again. Daoyu, are you, like Mother and Jamu said, really going to come back to Hongyuan and become engaged to me? Her eyes darted away as hastily as she wraps up her sentence. Something told me that this wasn't what she was really trying to tell Honglu. There was something that was left unsaid, like she made a last-second swerve from what she was really about to say. Yes, if that's what everyone wants. But there was no hesitation or fear of regret in Honglu's reply. Fireworks! That's all it was. Didn't want to spoil the surprise. To be with you, it's almost like you're back here for good. It's so pretty, isn't it? Yes, it is. Remember when you told me that I smelled fragrant about you? You know, I couldn't stop repeating that to myself once I returned to my room. Back then, I always made sure to shower myself with the most expensive perfumes and fragrances of Hongyuan. Except that day, I didn't have the time to put on any of it. Yeah, makes sense. So I was in a hurry to return to my chamber, the place where hundreds of bottles of rare, luxurious perfumes were waiting to shower me with their fragrances. And that's when I ran into you. My mother. She sent assassins to kill you, didn't she? Okay. So they were the Shui family matriarch, I suppose. Whatever her name. I don't think her name has been said yet. Maybe it has. Shui family. Whatever. I'm not sure. So she's the one who sent the. I was wondering because Shui Baochai's like servants looked awfully familiar, similar to that of the Night Drifter and that group, like the Part 1 boss. But it was her mother, isn't it? Then does her mother not want this union to happen? Would this not be, like, good for her daughter to, like, marry into the Jia family, which is, like, currently at the head and still remaining at the head? I don't know. Could be they want him dead because he's the Jade of... the Jade, right? Like, the special guy. I don't know. Why didn't you say anything when you saw me? Big Sis Baochai. Many people tried to hurt me, tried to lure me into a trap. I could have asked them why they'd say or do something like that, or why they'd hurt me so. But even if I did, they wouldn't have told me why, and they wouldn't have treated me any differently had I asked. So I don't bother asking. So I'm just another one of them. To you. No, actually, this isn't what I'm here to talk about. Baochai smiled again. It was a forced, awkward smile. Baoyu, you're the runner-up, right? The results are now locked in. So, now might be a good time for you to leave Dagguan. No, you have to leave. Right now. What's happening? I don't know what it is that you're looking to find in Dagguan's treasury, but you can just send someone from your clan to pick that up later, right? I don't think so. We gotta go ourselves. It's part of our quest, you know? We gotta be the ones to grab them. Miss Baochai, what is the meaning of this? Is something about to happen here? I've got to go now. I've got no clue what it's possibly building up to now. Obviously, like, everyone except for us and probably, like, Sijun know, right? And it's gonna be bad. Mother Lord is what I'm doing if I'm gone for too long. I guess it's important to note that of all the other people we know are, like, scheming around, it doesn't seem to be any of, like, the Jia family, so it could be possible that all, like, the non-Jia family are gonna try and overthrow the Jia family, so that their, like, family can take the reins. I don't know. Because as far as the actual, like, Jia family people we know, like, we know, Jia Baoyu, we know Jia Zichun, Jia Huan, Jia Chu, and then we've got a Jia Yuanchun? Whatever her name is, but she's not, like, here whatsoever, because she's married to some big shot in Q Corp. Yuanchun, was that it? Whatever the sister's name is. It's something along those lines. I don't remember for sure, because she didn't show up since part 1. Other than that, I guess there was also the other Jia Huan, like the younger one, that died and our current Jia Huan took the name of. But in general, like, none of the Jia Huans, none of the Jias in general seem to particularly necessarily be here? I don't know. There's a conspiracy against Dagguan, isn't there? Baochai was trying her damnedest to find an excuse to retreat from the conversation, until Hong asked her the simple yet piercing question. She froze in place, her eyes widened, perhaps out of horror, perhaps out of panic. I don't know all the details. I just overheard Mother and the other relatives talking. Baoyu, if you stay here, you'll get caught in the crossfire. So many forces are... Her eyes relentlessly darted left and right through the entire exchange, searching for any listening ears. Just what could have made her so afraid? I can tell you're terribly scared, big sister. But you've come to warn me anyway. I won't lie, your departure from Dagguan is so painful. The sheer thought that I could lose you forever is like being stabbed through the heart. Shui, Bao Chai. I do appreciate that you want to warn us ahead of time, but you didn't actually tell us anything about how, when, or what the danger is. Ishmael prodded with a grim voice. You need to tell us exactly what this treason entails. Is someone planning to challenge the results of the family hierarchy evaluation? Is it conspiracy to overturn or nullify the results? It doesn't sound like it's to challenge for the family hierarchy evaluation. It seems to be challenging the family hierarchy like as a whole. Using this like kind of moment of weakness to like take down Zichun. I don't know. Well, excuse my intrusion in this discussion, but I believe that this is as much as Miss Bao Chai can realistically divulge regarding this matter. Leaking such family intelligence is already an act of unseen treason against her own house. Outsiders may find this difficult to understand, but I was wondering at Linda you to like join us in some battles, at least like a couple of them, right? I guess we'll see. Could be, could not be, who knows. Given the gravity of what she has already shared, you must understand that she has already told you more than she safely could. Oh no. I don't like the sounds of that. She may be very dead. Jahuan. I don't see him here. That Jia guy's not here either. Fellas, I'm getting a real bad feeling about this. Yep. None of the Jaws are here. Given that you've specifically mentioned so many forces, when it comes to specifically referring to the presence of forces foreign to Dagwon, oh no, as well. Oh no. It's R-Corp, isn't it? They got R-Corp on this, because they were mentioned that they were going to H-Corp for something special in the Reindeer Honglu uptie. Faust asked in a low voice. That's... yes. This is now beyond what Dagwon Yan alone can handle. There he is! And of course, showing up Zigong. And obviously they were going to be still important, assisting us to some degree. Especially given how Zigong and Zulu are the announcer, right? Or Zulu are the announcer, right? When did he... Big Brother Chu... Bao Chai looked at us, then at Jiachu and his faction, then took a few stumbling steps backwards. I really have to leave now, Bao Yu. I shouldn't be here anymore. Then, I must excuse myself as well alongside Miss Bao Chai. Like, surely they're not gonna give us, like, Jiachu as, like, an allied unit. It would be so high, they might, I guess. I don't know. It would be insanely hype if so. If they do, like, a, like... Virgilius in Canto 6 type bit when he like demolishes waves upon waves of enemies and we just sit back and watch. It would be very cool. Especially give us a chance for him to show off his like full proper ego, right? Since he's got effortless ego early, but no idea what that entails yet. Please, you have to stay safe. Did she advise you to leave Dagwon Yan with haste? He did not look away from Hong, leaving his Bao Chai hurriedly walked away. Gaze unshaken, observing no one, nothing else but Hong Lun and his actions. I thought I had a lot of questions to ask Jiachu if we were ever to meet again. But now that he's actually right here, I couldn't recall a single word of it. It's called Aura. Do you know something, brother? My lord. Zigong tried to butt in, clear perturbed, but Jiachu raised his hand and stopped her. You must already be aware that the banquet is but a distraction from the fact that the currents have begun to shift. Her advice is sound. It is also true that now is the only time you can displace this place ere the storm arrives, should you wish to save your lives. That's not our style, though. But I doubt you've come here just to confirm that for us. Correct. Zigong lets out a deep sigh before explaining with a defeated expression. Once a family hierarchy properly ascends to the throne, it becomes a hopeless endeavor to measure when the next great shift in power shall come. Okay, so we're going to try and stop it from happening in the first place. Yeah, makes sense. One must remember the prospect of a long wait for the next evaluation, the end of which has not been and will not be in sight, oftentimes stains men's patience with lingering avarice and causes it to fester into possessiveness. Is it not the most predictable thing that these rotten grasping hands are loath to lay down their arms and accept the results with grace? Would those hands not deem it much more favorable to seize and change results by force? Yep. Yeah, we all know you read the thesaurus. So there's a chuckleload out there who want to, or bent out of shape with how the family hierarchy war turned out, right? They want to change the outcome by force. But our one and only Zichun's already been chosen as the family hierarch. Like, it's final. What happened to the family hierarchy being the seat of absolute power here? What kind of treason can they hope to commit if they aren't even willing to flip this old entire system upside down? Yeah. Rodin's not a big fan of how they're trying to take power without changing the system in the process. Not exactly her style. The only things that have been determined are the rankings of the candidates. Strictly speaking, we are still waiting for our appointment to be completed. I'm not too fond of your word games, lady. It's simple stuff. Okay, whatever. Huh. So that's why I couldn't smell those beasts anymore. Oh? I see. I understand now. Odit? I didn't even see a trace of them, even in places crowded as this. The two Mao branch ID people speaking up. The Haisho are gone. Even the ones that have been following you like shadows. Even Mao's gone? Oh boy. The measure of might in Hongyuan lies in the number of Haisho pack branches one wields. The family hierarchy maintains control over at least 3 of those branches. Yeah, because it seemed like... From what I could tell, it's almost certainly Jamu controlled, obviously Roosters, because there's the ones that showed up multiple times, but it seemed also like Dragon, Ox, and Monkey, right? Because those are the other ones whose silhouettes showed up. So assumably she had control over all 4 of those. We know that Mao Branch was under Jachu, and we know that C Branch was probably under Zichun until she lost them sometime before Part 2. We don't know the specifics yet, though. Yet, who was released from the throne if the hierarchy is vacant? So, like I said, Zichun's the gears your mind are ponderous, slow things to turn, aren't they? Haven't already given you the answer that our appointment is still underway? Huh? But, wait then, who's the family hierarch now? In the brief window between the former hierarch's abdication and the new hierarch's ascension, Hongyuan has no lord. Is that correct? So it's a free-for-all. Oh boy. That's when I suddenly recalled what Jia Yuan-chun said as she announced the results of the family hierarch war. The victor will first descend to the Tikan Temple and pay their respects to our revered elders. Then, upon returning to the surface, they will march to the First Lord Daguan-yuan and assume the seat of the family hierarch of Hongyuan. Descend? Oh, that's interesting. I didn't really notice that. So the Tikan Temple is... I assumed it would be like at like the highest point, but if it's descend, then it's low down. I don't know. What are the Masters Haisha? What are they doing now? Nothing. And that's precisely what the present predicament revolves around. So are they willing to work for anyone, or are they willing to work for no one? Do they just stand in the shadows and watch everyone else go, or can they be bought? Look around you. Have you seen how the shadows have descended from every corner of this place? The beasts that have melted into the dark for their hushed respites. So all Haisho branches are currently neutral. Wait, then. Does that mean Daguan-yan is completely vulnerable every time this happens? No. This would not have come to pass had a different individual been made to ascend. Yeah, it's a bit of a conspiracy to some degree, right? And it seems like the Jouet family matriarch is partially responsible, alongside probably some of the other, like, family heads. Jia-chan, that girl has no substantial foundation, a base to call her own. What clan did she have prior to the evaluation? Scattered to nothingness like grains of sand in a gust. So it seems like we will need to be her clan, after all. Isn't it reasonable to assume that, as long as the hierarchy has yet to gain control of her Haisho pack branches, they have a good chance of overthrowing her? That's not good, my lord. The Whisper office has arrived as well. Oh, new office? Whisper, interesting. I see. Things were way more dire than I had thought. Is this Whisper office that big of a deal? I guess we'll see. What's Chachu doing here chatting us up now, of all times? Pay attention. There are those who seek to enter here, and those who seek to stop them. R-Corp's second pack? Wait, it's not... Is that Reindeer, Ram, and Rat? Is that still... Or is that... No, I can't tell. Is that supposed to be still... It's got a similar staff to Reindeer. We have R-Corp. So second pack... So there's some duplicates, but not entirely, it seems? Is that what happens? Because we knew they were second pack reindeers from R Corp Honglu's Update story, right? It mentioned the second pack reindeers, but it seems to be rams, reindeers, and rats in that one. Rats are using, like, what are they using? I can't tell. Actually, can I... Looks like some sort of normal sword thingy. I can't tell. And then rams, you can't really tell from this image. And there's more of them in the background, yeah. X-Corp's Expedition Order of Excavators. Oh boy, X-Corp stuff. We know M-Corp's the main Knight one, but X-Corp also seems to be related to the Knight stuff. So yeah, we can see a bunch of them there. Jeez. We're gonna get a lot of cool factions, like, back-to-back. They seem to be using big pickaxe thingies. Makes sense for, like, the Excavator faction. The Thumbs Underboss. Oh god. That's the Soto Capo. Well, we know there's 4 Soto Capos. Assuming this is the one at the east. All who work under the Capo, the Capi de Capo, who's like the big thumb head. But yeah, so basically this guy's same level as like Callow. And then of course we can see what's his face there. There's Jalan Guards, the Indigo Guardians of the Ja family. Oh. The Ja family have their own force, it seems, that haven't been shown off before. The Jalan Guards. K-Corp Special Excision Unit. Yeah, K-Corp stuff, that's not particularly new. N-Corp's new League of 9. Oh boy. Who's that? Who's purple? Wait, yeah, we see Nelly's there. Ahad's there. Who is... Oh, that's Sonya. Oh, never mind. He had purple eyes. So, Sonya is... That's our, like, pseudo-confirmation that Sonya is working for N-Corp, then. Because we actually didn't know for sure that he was, like, related or unrelated, because he cared about the mark, but also was, like, in contact with Herman, right? Oh, boy. Can't tell what sort of egos they're using. It seems fairly standardish stuff. Decent chance they have random egos, too, though. And numerous other fixers and clans. Is that anything... discernible? Not particularly, I don't think. There's something green in the corner there we can't make out, but some fancy hat guy, scarf guy. I can't tell what's really going on with those guys. Animal head person? I don't know. And those are just the ones that I've been informed of. Okay, we just got shown a lot of interesting stuff all at once. This is a crazy CG. Most of them are waiting, biding their time outside the walls of Hongyuan, or are soon to arrive. But the Thumb's forces have already engaged in melee with my army. Oh no. Is your army... I assume you're in control of Mao still. If they're neutral, then they might still work under you, unless your army is something different. Some faction of the Wang family joined the defenders, but it's uncertain how much longer they can hold out. Okay. So, part of the Wang is split, that makes sense. It seems to be... Wang and Shi are the ones that seem to be fairly large in size compared to the Jue and Jaws, right? Just based on how many of them we saw. I guess we didn't see that many Wangs. We saw, like, Wang Dewei and we saw Wang Zhao, but that was about it? Do you see any other Wangs? I don't remember. Otherwise, there was, like, a lot of Shi family people. Oh, there was the one, the girl that we killed. Didn't kill, but we fought. The one who was, like... whichever one she was, right? Yeah. And the de facto leaders of each of the major families say the word. It's likely that R Corp, K Corp, and X Corp may soon choose their own sides in the war. Oh boy. Bunch of corps just ready to take advantage of this, right? What? Is that reliable intel? Why would they... Many here believe that the title of family hierarchy is simply a different name for the Lord of Hongyuan. Yeah, it seems to be that way, right? It is a belief that many forces beyond Hongyuan's walls share. So if you can become a good friend of whoever's taking the lead, that's going to be good for your corp, that's for sure. In other words, this isn't about Hongyuan. There are forces from the other nests since they're seeking to sponsor a different perspective hierarchy to expand their sphere of influence here. Correct. The cigarette slipped from Greg's fingers. Otis's face darkened with the grimness I'd never seen in her before. It's looking a lot like a war. Oh boy. 8, 9. I have thus counted over 9 different powerful factions among the ones that was mentioned. This is too much. As fortune would have it, only the Thumb is deemed it appropriate to act. Yeah, all the others are waiting. Thumb are just going all straight in. Makes sense. But Lei Heng, the capital of the Thang, poses the greatest threat. He is one of the 10 Blades of the East, and his might is formidable to any foe. Yeah, 10 Blades of the East, that's a water margin thing. Another book that some characters seem to be based on partially. I shall meet him in battle, as planned. He must be the one leading the charge against the gates. If what you say here is true, then this is no mere treason within a wing. Otis hissed in a low, menacing voice. Which family spirits is treachery? How many wings are backing them? Nothing is certain at present. The tangle of lines and blood is a knot that cannot be undone until the dust has settled. It will only take a single whistling arrow for chaos to engulf Hongyuan. The forces that have gathered here have drawn their bows, and the moment one of them lets loose, it will only be a matter of time before it becomes a full-scale war. And when it does, that crack that has formed in the walls of Hongyuan will widen. Vultures of the city will smell the rot and tear into the wound to pilfer the boluses and their recipes. The smiling faces, the corpse, the yakshas. Okay, smiling faces we know of course, they show up in Ruina, and they also showed up a little bit in Distortion Detective. We know they're like a widespread thingy. Corpse and yakshas are new though. I was going to say the ring will never let such an opportunity slip. Of course they wouldn't. This kind of conflict will utterly waste the lives of the common folk in Hongyuan. The fire is already conflagrated beyond a competition amongst candidates. That is why the fissure must be mended ere it spreads. Should the throne of the hierarch remain vacant, should this instability be prolonged, then the wings will march to war. And we do not want that happening this early, right? Would not be good. No way. I don't believe this. The consequences will be about as far-reaching at the very least. Such is the weight of Hongyuan's family hierarch. It holds as much power to save countless lives as it does to take from them. The banquet hall was quickly starting to become barren as people began to hurry away. I don't have any direct memories of a wing war, but even I could feel the prickly goosebumps rising from my skin. The air in the hall was quickly turning razor sharp. Then, brother, what is it that you expect us to do? Help Si-chan, assumably. He's gonna try and hold people off for at least a little bit, right? He's dealing with Lei Heng, right? That's what he said he's gonna do. His faction's gonna take down the thumbs instead of the one striking first, so we need to do anything we can to help Si-chan. I am of the belief that you are all, collectively, the key to overcoming this tribulation. The key? Hurry her ascension to the throne. Jia Si-chan should still be at the Taiken Temple, where the Zhanren reside, preparing for the ritual ascension. Given that the Zhanren must be utterly ablaze with circumstance outside their chamber, there's no way of knowing the time it might take for them to officially name her the next hierarch. And they will not be swift, as entry to their chambers permitted only the family hierarch. There is no way to relay this message to them. But there is another. There is another who's permitted to enter the temple. Yup, that's right. The Jade himself. Jia Baoyu. When the hierarch takes the throne and seizes the leash of her rightful Haisho packs, she should have more than enough might to ward Daguan Yan against the invaders. And when the invading forces realize the family hierarch has returned, they will retreat. The Sparkle War should shrink enough to be snuffed out with a stomp. My lord, I must beg your forgiveness, for there is still doubt in my heart. How can he be the key? He's the Jade! My lord, I know you did not be one to engage in such gambles. It is better to gamble than to allow this opportunity to slip away in vain. Yet I must beg your forgiveness once again, for I insist that your mere presence here is a waste of time. You mustn't tear downstream, must rise to the fountainhead and cut off the stream from its origin. Zigong looked at us and Jia Chu anxiously. You needn't consider this a waste, for it is a worthy task in my eyes. Had you followed the blueprint of the painting I had initially drawn for the family hierarch war? Zigong's a strategist after all. She's trying to have everything follow a preset plan, but it's not that easy. We'd have already heard at Tiakon Temple via alternative methods. aka winning? Alternative methods? Zigong. That would not have resolved anything. It would only cause further loss, no more. And I wish to make one thing clear. That this is not an offer. This is but an offer, a plea, not a command. For one mustn't do what does not move their heart. However, Jiabaoyu, you may not have realized this, but I have already gambled once with you as my hint during the family hierarch war. I sought to draw your true humanity forth, have you wear it on the outside. And the reply you gave me then, the one that emerged from behind the obscuring veil of clouds, was proven enough that it was certainly no waste of my time. Kindness? So wholesome. Why do you seek to involve yourself in the politics of Hongyuan, brother? Neither Hongyuan nor Daguan bind you any longer, not by cause or force. It was a long undertaking for me to uncover the truth of the ruin that came to the Kong family. At first, my heart was engulfed in fiery wrath. Daguan had to be uprooted from the ground, for that every single person of power or influence in Daguan had to be killed, their throats slit in vengeance. But you learned differently, Jade Killen? Or so I thought, once. But I learned from a worthy teacher. Jade Chillin. That is when Aria's wrath was burning my body to ash. Then, did your fiery wrath extinguish? Not extinguish as much as he weaponizes it, right? Had I truly attained enlightenment, found all the way there was to understand the nature of this world, Jiabaoyu, then I would not have given you the power to elect the hierarch. I am still but a student, a seeker of the answer. Yet, I do not wish to let chaos devour this land when I have the means to save it. Thus, once again, I ask you, when you decided to relinquish the coins to Jia Zichun, what was it that moved your heart? Certainly your heart has changed enough then not to simply hand them over for the simple reason that she desired them. You must know this already, brother, but the children of Daguan have no such things as birthdays, save for myself. Huh. That's interesting. When a child is born, they aren't celebrated. They are hidden, concealed for years in the dark, so the competition won't take notice of a new rival. Of course. Truly a cruel place. Zichun was one of those children who had never experienced a birthday before. She didn't even know what it meant. So, when we were young, whenever grandmother would hold a banquet to celebrate the day of my birth, his birthday, of course, being June 6th, which is like next week, which is funny to think about, I dedicated that day to Zichun. It's a weird looking turtle. It's like a snapping. It's like a mole turtle. It's a weird face on that thing. It's nice to have your existence celebrated once every year, for no other reason than the fact that you exist. But when I stopped leaving my room, when Zichun and I grew distant, the secret birthday parties we shared also came to an end. She probably doesn't remember any of it now. She was too young then. But if I could gift this to her, to make up for all those lofty years, then I thought, maybe she would be happy again, just as she was then. Now I'm looking at these pile of coins, it feels like I'm looking at the rooms of Daguan. I used to hate that sight so much as a kid. Can I really be a good hierarch to Hongyuan? Did Zichun like the gift, as Honglu wanted her to? We had no way of knowing. Does that answer satisfy you, brother? It was not your answer that I had sought. It was your drive, it was your passion, whatever. It was to see the way your heart stirs, and that was proof of enough. I had never met these Shanren, the self-proclaimed enlightened ones before, as I was not permitted to enter the Tiakan temple, but I know of their existence. And when I've come to learn my observation in Hongyuan, and then the city itself, gave me certain ideas of what form the hierarch ascension ritual might take. Had you not surrendered yourself, you could have deduced what the ritual entails. Are you saying that something bad may happen to Zichun? This may be hasty speculation. From a certain perspective, this may simply constitute a rightful ascension to the new hierarch. It's not that simple, though, right? There's some, like, enamorms stuff going on, some memory memory movement going on. I don't know. But I want you to be there, to behold with your own eyes what it entails. My wager in this gamble is that you indeed have the potential to achieve that purpose. And that the faith worth in your heart that I had once seen still gently burned. You want me to achieve your purpose, brother? No, your own purpose would not be the same as my own. Such a pursuit would be devoid of meaning. The decision is yours. So decide. He must make a choice. No more sitting on the sidelines for Honglu. More story, jeez. Justice of others. Yeah, might as well. Fully sended. Make this be the story episode. Jiachu and his forces left the banquet hall to assess the situation, leaving only me and the sinners there. I feel this is like the longest like chain of story stuff we've had in like a post-part 1 section of any Canto, really. I don't know, maybe there's probably been like 3 sections of story but back to back, but not all like to this length. I guess we don't know how long this one is going to be, though. Our only remaining task is to receive the golden bow that we erode. That much is a given. Retrieve it and our mission here is done. We only need to wait for the LCA for extraction. None of you know, let alone understand what a war of the wings is like. To rush out there into these unknown waters is nothing short of impudent imprudence. We must not entertain this idea. Gregor knows all too well. Alas, if our meager strength may be sufficient to prevent this war and save the lives of many innocents, then I wish to do as that man hath said. No, it is in our best interest that we do not get involved. Don Quixote, I will speak to you plainly, as I trust that you have regained some sense of how this world works. War is not just another incident or a quest to be resolved. Your sense of justice may shine like a beacon in times of unrest, but war will crush and grind it into the dirt indiscriminately as it does any life caught under its boot heels. Lady Otis, I have also lived through my share of wars. Even still, Jiachu's path is that of justice. Thus, she'll have my support. How are you still so... To fight for the pursuit of justice deserveth not thy scorn nor ridicule. 'Tis no short-sighted tantrum. 'Tis but my adherence to, in pursuit of, a certain responsibility of those who can. Otis, I've also had my share of the war, so hopefully you'll let me put my 2 ons in. Battles and wars aren't the same thing either. You can't see the crashing waves of intense emotions in battles when looking at it is a great flow of war. But all that built-up heat is what becomes a flow, not the way around. Not the other way around. It never is. Jiachu wished to convey is that the levees are beginning to crack, that the fractures must be filled forthwith before they rupture. Well, like... While the words you speak may contrast one another, the intent that pushed the both of you to speak is shared, that the war mustn't conflagrate beyond what has already occurred. It is. Yeah, exactly. Thanks for summing it up, Yi-sang. Otis' assessments would have been correct had the discussion concerning her persuasion been about a war that has already progressed beyond a certain degree. However, accepting Jiachu's suggestion preventing the war from expanding beyond localized skirmishes could bring greater results than avoiding it altogether. Yeah, this could also give them the opportunity to destroy and uproot all the inequities of Hongyuan. Well, I don't know if that's what Honglu wants, though. But even if Jiachu and his people are strong, there's just too many of them. Do we really have a chance against all of them? We're not going up against all of them. As long as we can just help Zi-chan out as much as possible, we can stop most of them from ever taking the initiative even, right? Oh, whoops, did not mean to skip that. If I'm being honest, we simply can't know. We don't have the time to meticulously analyze every facet of the situation. Manager of ours, if I may. Yi-sang carefully began as sinners' opinions began to clash and fracture. As you much have observed, the sinners failed to find a common ground. However, though narrow my vision may be, it appears to me that there's not a single sinner whose insight is born solely from their emotions. There is sound reason behind every suggestion that has heretofore been presented. Thus, it is difficult to gauge the validity of each of them. This must not be an easy decision for you. We gotta let Honglu decide. Thus, Yi-san paused, taking his time to carefully select his next few words. Then, after a subtle nod, he continued. Dante, perhaps this judgment belongs to Honglu. Perhaps I speak at the risk of not knowing my own station. However, should we allow this opportunity to slip away, Honglu may never leave that smile of his behind. You must see it as well. That Honglu's smile is but a different shape of sorrow for those who have no tears left to shed. Yeah. What Yi-san was trying to tell me was as clear as day. So what I must consider as the manager isn't a discussion of wars and battles. It's not pragmatism or the measure of the pros and cons. A manager has to support their team. Faust? Once again, I have nothing to offer but objective information and suggestions strictly from the corporate perspective. Dante, given your position as the manager of the LCB team, it is recommended that you continue to follow the plan outlined by the LCCB, retrieve the golden bow, and quickly arrange a safe extraction for you and your team without unnecessarily involving your team in a high-risk operation. Yep, very textbook response. That's... However, Faust continues slowly. But if you believe that you possess enough persistence to endure all that entails, and if you believe that your role is to lead them, and us, to the right path, then I will follow your lead. Thank you. Now the answer must come from Honglu's own mouth. Looks like things really got out of control. Sorry, Dante. Hey, earlier, during your dialogue with Jachu, the conclusion you arrived at didn't come out of nowhere, did it? There must have been something that brought you there. In that long conversation, Honglu was finally able to give an answer of his own, and the biggest reason he could was, at first, I didn't think that I'd be able to give a real answer to Brother Chu's questions. But suddenly, like a thick fog clearing, something emerged from the haze of forgotten memories past. What I gave as an answer was that something, and I realized what it was only after it had left my mouth. That word must have been burrowed deep within me for a long time. Kindness. Because I wanted to believe that kindness was enough, that it could truly bring change to Hongyuan. This is not about us. It's about you and Hongyuan's future. So I think I'll leave the decision up to you. Honglu was never the type to clearly state his beliefs. He usually did as they asked without question, without even the smallest complaint. He did not speak of pain when he suffered, nor did he cry to us from agony. His eyes remained unshaken even as he witnessed the countless deaths and injustices committed before him. The eye that lets everything float away. The accepting eye of someone who has resigned himself to the reality that everything that exists has an end. I wait patiently for him to speak. Dante, Honglu, who only ever quietly accepted whatever life threw at him. I want to go to Teikon Temple. Where is Sichun and the elders? Where the Jeanren are? I think Sichun might be in danger. Danger as in her life might be at risk? No, I think her life might not be the only thing that's not in danger. Thinking back to what Brother Chu told me, I'm afraid that I might lose the Sichun I know forever. For the first time, he speaks of the path he wishes to walk. Honglu's jade eye gazes beyond the walls of Daguanyan. Like Brother Chu said, at this moment, I'm the only one who can freely open the gates of the Teikon Temple. I want to be there to watch Sichun become the hierarch so that, if something dangerous were to happen, I can put a stop to it. Okay, sounds like a plan. I had a feeling that this would be your decision, Executive Manager. Our judgments are shaped by our upbringings and environments. So, for you, Executive Manager, who has only the time spent with the rest of us to reflect on, it is understandable how you could come to this conclusion. I keep disappointing you, don't I? You haven't. Not yet. Otis replies sternly. Well, it ain't much our style to just sawed off and picking up the golden bow, innit? We gotta get him. That's... Yeah, you're right. Ishmael agrees with Heathcliff for the first time since forever. Well, I know I might have come across as kinda harsh or snappy either, but hey, there weren't any hard feelings, Otis. I would have kicked you in the shin had I considered your entire speech to be senseless drivel. Otis and Greg, whose stances were always diametrically opposed, have stopped shooting bitter remarks at each other. We're all growing more familiar with each other. Perfect. Then let's do this. In that strange air, we found our purpose. I will send out my best blade, Zilu, in the same direction. She will not accompany you, but she will rendezvous at your destination nonetheless. Did you say earlier the high shows have all become masterless or something? It is a long story. Let me just say that Zilu is an exception. Okay. So it's not all Mao, it's just Zilu under Jachu. Hold on, what about you? At the moment, stopping the underboss and his primary officer, Lei Heng, is the most pressing concern. Zigong and I will take to the main battlefield at the gates of Hongyuan and stall them. The plan was now in motion. There's nothing more to discuss, and we both walk away to our destinations in opposite directions. My lord, I have seen that smile many times in the past. That is the smile of a hollow shell. Do you truly believe that such a man as him is capable of moving in genuine dedication to the cause? Each heart has a different cause that moves them. How can one speak of the fathoms of the lake when all they've seen is the water's surface? Yep. Jiachu believes in Honglu, and we all believe in Honglu too. It's something that only he can do. Actions of a thief. Oh, there's all the kites there. Oh. The kite, like, from the little cutscene in part 2. Interesting. I do think that'll be all for this time, though. We just went through a bunch of story nodes and looked at the ego, and that's not much, but it was a lot of story. A lot of interesting stuff. A moment of resolution from Honglu. And we make our way to the Taikon Temple in order to save Sichun. But anyways, that'll be all for this time. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all next time. Bye!